For our next round of community innovations, I want to bring on stage Eidosmedia with Omar and Rahul. Please give them a warm welcome.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, first of all, for attending the session today. I'm really excited to show you what's in store. My name is Rahul Ravikrishnan, and I'm the head of product at Eidosmedia, focusing on our investment research, publication, and distribution platform. And I'm joined by my colleague here.
Hello, everyone. My name is Omar Gadzarin, and I am the head of pre-sales for Eidosmedia.
Before we get started into the live demo, I'd like to take the opportunity to explain to you who Eidosmedia is, what we do. The name may not be that familiar to everyone in the industry here. What we do at Eidosmedia is we actually power some of the largest investment banks and sell-side firms to create their investment research content and publish that out in the market. So, among all the bulge brackets, we are the core platform that's used to produce that investment research content. Over 8,000 analysts globally around the world actually use our platform to author research content and distribute that out to the market. We also serve independent rating agencies and research boutique shops to create research, so primarily on the sell side and research production. But more recently, we've been engaging with private banking, wealth, and we also have our first few asset management clients that are using our platform for research discovery. So being able to collect research content, aggregate that, and provide that in meaningful ways to their investor clients. So hopefully that sets a scene of kind of what we do and who we are. So without kind of further ado, I'd like to kind of dive into the demo. I'm joined by Ken, our trusty co-pilot behind, who's doing all the heavy lifting. We're just doing the show and tell here, but he's doing all the clicks behind the scenes. So what you see behind me is our authoring platform. And from kind of at a glance, it may just look like your traditional editing platform where you're creating a document and then you're ready to publish that piece in entirety. But what's unique about our publishing platform is we've opened it up to add additional capabilities that allow you to write research in more granular ways. So if you see on the left-hand side of the screen here, we've got these elements of the report that are broken down in sort of components. So you can see things like the executive summary, investment thesis, key metrics, so on and so forth. So when analysts log into our system to kind of create, let's say, their equity note for the day, or a large paper, for example, that may be 100 pages long, multiple teams can collaborate within the document at a section and section level, componentize, as well as collaborate with multiple users within components. So this allows you to really build your research in piecemeal and kind of not dictate, but influence how it can be distributed out. And you'll see that further as we go along. On the right-hand side is kind of the preview of the output. So when you think about what goes in, what goes out, we've also embedded what the output will look like. So typically, we have design teams at the research firms that create how their PDFs look like. But we're going beyond PDFs as well. Supervisory analysts, editorial teams can also look at the digital-first approach. So we're seeing the proliferation of portals for access of research, web-based versions of the same research. So because we're able to componentize all of this research, we enable teams to even put their digital-first footprint of research content out to the market. So I'm going to kind of hand over to my colleague, Omar. He's going to be playing the role of various user personas. So in product, we like to think of user personas across analysts distributing research, buy-side consuming research, all through the Symphony communications platform. So Omar, over to you.
Thank you, Rahul. So now Ken is impersonating a supervisory analyst ready to approve the publication of this report. So he's going to do that in a few clicks. And what's going to happen is that this report, as published, will appear in our demo portal. There you go. At this point, what we want to do next, here you go in the first position. What we want to do next is to show you how you can use Symphony chat to actually consume the same report, the same content that was published from our platform directly from Symphony. So here we can initiate the communication with the chatbot very politely by simply say hello. And there you go. And we can start to consume the content. The first thing that we want to do is to retrieve the latest published report. OK, perfect, Ken. Thank you. And what is going to happen behind the scene? I think, yeah, we want to get the latest public reports rather than just one. So, yeah, we want to be getting more than one. So what will happen behind the scene is that the Symphony chatbot using our API will go directly to our research library, retrieve the report, and display them here using the native Symphony chat functionalities. So here you go. We have here in the first position the report that we just published and all the other reports. From a UI, UX perspective here, we are all using native components, and we have the cover page of the report, the headline, and the summary. And whenever the user clicks on the headline, you can see it directly redirect the user from Symphony to the portal. Another capability that we have is to consume research using tags. So, and you can use standard taxonomy coming, for example, from XML, Geeks. And for this sake of this demo, we're going to use Meta as an example, and we're going to use the ticker. So we're going to say, let's pick the latest published report regarding Meta. So once Ken hits enter, there we go, the latest report specific for Meta. Okay, sorry again. So again, working with taxonomy, we can use other specific fields from the gig sector. For example, we're going to use sectors, so picking technology sectors or similar reports. Okay. And there we go. We're now expanding the horizon of our searches. Back to what Rahul said, the value that we bring in the industry is that we can really slice and dice investment research into individual components. And the value also that we offer through Symphony is to actually consume those components at an individual level. So this is the whole idea of going behind the PDF. So now Ken is going to type the related prompt. And what you will see is that Symphony is going to reply with a form, which can be populated with, for example, the last report that we published. And from here, going back to what we showed you earlier, we can, for example, extract the key metrics. So now Ken can submit the request. Again, connecting to our database, there you go, the key metrics for that specific report. Also, components can be used to run comparison at a, let's say, a holistic level. So we can, for example, compare the latest 3 investment theses, again, for a ticker, and we're going to pick Meta, so that you can say, for example, what you have been saying about Meta across Q1, Q2, and Q3. And there you go. This is the end result. So over to you, Rahul, for next.
Yeah, so I think what's really interesting, I don't know what's going on in the back of your mind, how does all of this work? But a key foundational element of this is tagging of the components. So we're not tagging at the PDF level, but we're tagging at a granular level. And switching back to the application, you can see this object panel here. Typically, what an analyst does or a research operations team does is using tagging schema like XML, ESG tagging. They manually select the tags that would be applied to the report. But what we've done here is we've partnered with Amenity Analytics to take natural language processing and automate this tagging process. So they're able to go through the entire document, component by component. As a user, you can automate analyzing of this report. And let's see what comes up in real time here. What's this report all about? So it's come and said that artificial intelligence is the theme or the topic of this report. So as a research ops person or editorial analyst, I can approve or reject this tag, apply it to the report, and push it through to either my distribution or consumption workflows. So once that's done, now we can see on the flip side when the buy side or the research consumer may be interested in a particular report around that theme, how that shows up. So let's go ahead and go through that process here. So here's an analyst applying this tag that has been automated by Amenity Analytics. And then while we go into Symphony, I really like this feature where it kind of times you out if you're dormant. I think it's a really good security feature that no one else can log in and see your chat, so it's actually pretty good. Now let's see, as a research consumer, I want to see, I'm interested in the latest reports around artificial intelligence. Let me find out what's out there. And again, because of the power of analytics and that automated tagging feature, you'll see what comes up. So let's take a look. I'm also interested to see what shows up. So again, our favorite company is up at the top, but then we have all of these other reports as well that all are related to artificial intelligence. And then again, as a user, you can kind of lean into those reports and then make your investment decisions accordingly. So kind of really nifty stuff. I'm going to switch back to Omar to talk about kind of something quite new we're trying to develop. And this is direct access to the analyst, which is increasingly in value over time. So Omar, over to you.
So thank you, Rahul. Now Ken has logged into our customer portal with my credential. I am a premium user, so with a premium subscription to our portal. And here you go. I am, let's say, lucky enough to have these new functionalities, which is the possibility of connecting directly to the analyst. So what we're trying to do is, again, bridge the gap between creation and distribution. And the usage of Symphony ECP really helps us in that. So you can see at this point, Ken can interact with the analyst or with a sales representative and directly connect to the company and ask more information about the report or about anything that is of interest for the user. So this concludes our demo. And we showcase you a combined solution between Eidosmedia and Symphony. They provide values to different personas in the industry. So first of all, we saw how analysts can now better reach their users with their content through the Symphony chatbot. We also saw how wealth managers, asset managers, can use Symphony chatbot to retrieve from our platform instead the perfect and tailored content for their needs. So again, as I said, like here we're trying to bridge the gap between content creation and distribution, offering professionals the possibility of getting research at their fingerprints. Rahul,
yeah. So I often say, like, we're basically bringing the consumption of research fewer degrees away of separation from the creation of research. And that only allows kind of the additive value of the research. You're not losing things through the pipeline. So being able to break things out at the granular level, tag it where you need to tag it, it really allows, as a research provider, the confidence that the research that they're creating and putting out in the market is being consumed in the way that they intended to. So at the end of the day, if I think big picture, it's enabling better investment decision outcomes at the end of the day. So, really happy that we're starting to close this gap and, really add innovation and streamline, the process. I also really like the chat with the analysts. So obviously with AI and automation, no one knows what's real, what's automated, what's generated by robots. So, the value of access to the analyst, that's always been there with investment research. That's a lot of times why the buy side kind of pays for researchers for access to the analysts. So being able to directly interact with the analysts, is really interesting. And I see other use cases with, ECP. You can create a private room, invite, your high net worth investor client into the chat, be able to have access to the analyst working on a specific asset class or sleeve of a portfolio. So this is where I see things going, and I'm really excited about it. So again, thanks for your time. Hopefully the demo wasn't too distracting, and happy to take on questions and of course meet later in the evening.
We invite Michael on stage for the questions.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you both. Why don't we get straight into the questions? So continuing on what you were saying about ECP, our embedded collaboration platform, and how the researchers or consumers of research are now able to easily access researchers. How were they previously communicating, and what has the feedback been on that?
Yes, so the feedback has been pretty positive. So previously, all the communication was happening through emails or alternatives to emails. So here we're bringing, again, like we're disrupting this monolithic and, let's say, old-fashioned of doing things, and especially in the world as we are living, I believe this is of great value.
Amazing. I think we have time for one more question. So the word componentize was mentioned throughout the demonstration. So let's go back to that. How is componentizing at the source really impacting the common research challenge of sifting through needles in a haystack?
So, I mean, the answer's in the question already. You actually don't have to sift through needles in a haystack or pages and pages of PDFs printed on your desk to find like a particular piece of insight that can better make an investment outcome. Componentization is kind of my favorite word at the moment. It's not AI, as a surprise, which is good. But the idea of breaking it down to this level allows on the consumer side to be able to search for something specific. So you end up getting more personalized research, something that's tailored to your request, versus kind of trying to sift through a bunch of noise. And of course, you can use tools like AI, natural language processing, to find what you need. But the fact that we're kind of enabling teams to break it up at the source allows kind of that consistency of information throughout the channel. So that's what I'm really excited about.
Incredible. Thank you, Omar and Rahul.
Thank you, Michael.
Thanks, everyone.